Community College. Explore your future and get started now. Visit gobarton.com.
Okay, Sports Day in 3, 2, 1.
Drive, Mahomes, pumps, fires end zone. It is caught for the touchdown by Tyquan Thornton. Blanketed by Phillips. But somehow Mahomes squeezes it in there, and Thornton with a touchdown for the Chiefs.
He just didn't like it, and I think he didn't like it because that Burns out there jumped up, sort of got in his way, comes right back and just zips a bullet in there to Thornton. That looked like the Kansas City Chiefs. It's been a long time coming.
Daniels fakes the option, has a man, it's caught. LeSean Williams, touchdown Kansas. A 39-yard strike from Jalen Daniels to LeSean Williams.
Salvador Perez at the plate.
Perez cracks one, deep right field, to the track, to the wall, and gone!
Three-run home run, Salvador Perez, his 30th of the season, and the Royals have 5 runs here before and out in the bottom of the first. It's 5-1 KC. Adam Frazier on first. Michael Massey to the plate. 2 outs, runner on second, bottom of the ninth, 8-5 Blue Jays. Vinny Pasquantino to the plate. Ground ball to second. And the Blue Jays are going to the postseason. Hoffman gets the save. They beat the Royals here today 8-5, and the Blue Jays have locked up a playoff spot this year.
Happy Monday, everybody. Welcome into another episode of Sports Day. My name is Brant Daughtry. I'm joined on today's episode by Jim Mizunas. He joins us most Mondays, usually joined also by Garrett Fitzpatrick. He couldn't make it today, so Jim, like it was me and Garrett for the full hour last week, it's going to be just you and me for 60 minutes today, bud.
Well, that's great. I'm glad you're healthy and wealthy. Us older guys have a harder time.
Oh, I understand. I'm not quite 30, but I'm approaching 30, and like already things are kind of starting to decline a little bit, and I'm just really worried for whatever's going to happen next.
Well, we just got to look ahead one day at a time, right?
One day at a time. Your sounds of the past 24 hours, the Chiefs got into the win column last night on Sunday Night Football, beating the Giants 22-9. Patrick Mahomes threw for 224 yards and a touchdown, while the defense forced 2 interceptions. People seem pretty down on the Chiefs after this game, even though they won. I thought they looked pretty good.
Well, yeah, the simple fact of the matter, they're playing without 2 of their top receivers.
Yeah.
And will be for, some more games. Hey, Baltimore is going to be a tremendous test.
I spoke about it with Steve Webster earlier this morning on the AM Great Ben show. That's going to be very indicative of how their season's going to go. If they can just – you don't even have to beat the Ravens. You just need to be competitive with the Ravens. And if you can do that, you don't lose by more than 10, I think you're good. I think you're good as long as you don't do something just incredibly bad.
The defense is playing competitive enough that they're to the point where the defense just has to keep them in the game, and they hope they make a few plays because their wide receiver core and the receiving core and their offense in general is missing a few spark plugs here and there. So they just need to keep the game close, and if you do that, then you still feel like you got a shot.
On Friday, the Royals mashed their way to a 20-1 victory over the Blue Jays. Homers were hit by Salvador Perez, Michael Massey, and Jack Caglione. The Royals also won Game 2 in a 2-1 pitchers duel. The Blue Jays did salvage Game 3 8-5 and became the first team in the American League to lock in a playoff spot with 1 week left in the regular season. I don't think the Royals are going to make the playoffs. Their magic number is currently 1. So they have to go undefeated the rest of the way and hope that either the Astros or is it the Rangers? It's the Astros and someone else one of those 2 teams has to lose out and the Royals have to win out.
Name the last time the Royals had a winning streak. Well, it was very early in the season. Well, they've done it, but yeah, they got no chance.
Yeah,
they're done.
They're done, but they do still have 6 games left in the regular season. They play a series with the Angels starting tomorrow. They're off tonight. But the good news is so are the other teams that they need to worry about right now. They're also off tonight. So we'll know a lot more probably this time Wednesday, whether or not they still have a shot, but it's unlikely. What else did we have? Jalen Daniels and the Kansas Jayhawks dominated the West Virginia Mountaineers on Saturday, winning 41-10. in the start of Big 12 play. The Jayhawks are now 3-1. I expected Kansas to win this game. I did not expect them to win 41-10. This is a Rich Rodriguez coached West Virginia team. There's a certain standard that he will elevate that program to, and I didn't think West Virginia was going to be a super bad team this year, but Kansas made them look like one.
No, they're legit, and playing at home, they're going to have a shot against most anybody they play. They've already proven that over the course of time, that they're a competitive team at home, and they've proven that they can be a tough out on the road too. So Kansas is they're way further ahead than I think most folks would have expected. I mean, and I was not impressed by West Virginia's quarterback. Did he throw the ball further than 3 yards downfield all game?
Not until they put in the backup guy.
Well, yeah. I mean, anyway, what a weak arm the left-handed quarterback had. I mean, I just couldn't believe it. It's like a junior high quarterback. Just dump the ball 3 yards, and we're good with that.
There were other sounds that we were going to put in here in the last 24 hours. Unfortunately, something went wrong with my computer, and everything got corrupted. So I saved what I could. And what I wanted to have on here was the Eagles completed a massive comeback against the Rams Sunday. They trailed by as much as 19 points, but the Eagles took a 27-26 lead in the fourth quarter. The Rams attempted a game-winning field goal as time expired, but it was blocked and returned for a touchdown by Jordan Davis. This game was – I just wanted to throw this on here because I thought it was kind of a crazy ending to this game. Massive comeback, two good teams. And Jordan Davis, I think he's demonstrated this year, he's not the smartest dude in the NFL, but insanely good player. He's about 330 pounds. I think they said that he reached 20 miles an hour on that run back and that touchdown. The Eagles are good. The Eagles continue to find ways to win games, and I don't know if they're going to repeat as Super Bowl champions, but I certainly think they have to be the favorite right now.
Yeah, the Chiefs faced this dilemma in the last 5 years or so. You're facing everybody's best shot. Everybody's going to be fired up to play the Super Bowl champs, and it wears on you. I mean, it's tough because you're like, man, I didn't see this on film. Well, every team is going to give you its best shot. And so, the Eagles are a very competitive team, and they're benefiting from no false starts on their tush-push, again, time after time. The NFL, we're going to crack down on that. No, you're not going to crack down on it. You've got inefficient officials, and they don't know how to officiate that particular play, and they're false starting on virtually every time they run the tush-push, and they're going to keep doing it until as long as they get away with it. As long as you can cheat and get away with it, they're going to keep doing it.
I had this conversation with Garrett Fitzpatrick last week, and he and I kind of spoke about the tush push. I was so much like, it's a football play. Go and stop it. I was very on board with it until recently. It does seem like you said they're jumping off sides, and all 11 players are lining up in the neutral zone, and it's not a well officiated play because it's an impossible play to officiate.
Yeah, no doubt. And Randy Wetzel, the local official, basically a Hall of Fame official, perfect summation. When do you call a flag? When do you call something? When they're cheating. That's what perfect summation. In other words, when somebody's gaining an unfair advantage, whether it's a arm bar to the back or whatever it is, just a perfect summation of officiating 101. You call stuff when teams are gaining an unfair advantage, and that's exactly what they're doing.
And the last thing, this one actually kind of relevant to the AFC West here. The Chargers were successful in their walk-off field goal attempt, defeating the Broncos and winning a game within the division for the third week in a row. They now lead the AFC West through 3 weeks. Every other team is sitting at 1-2. I didn't know that the Chargers were playing AFC West teams the first 3 weeks of the season, but they beat the Chiefs, then they beat the Raiders, and now they've beaten the Broncos, and it's early. It is very early, but they currently have a stranglehold on this division.
Oh, yeah. Whenever you win your division games, you've got the tiebreaker in your favor. What's wild is all 3 Chiefs games down to the wire, all 3 Bronco games down to the wire. Broncos could easily be 3-0 too.
Mm-hmm.
The Chiefs could be 3-0 for that matter. I mean, every game went down the wire, and then of course the Chargers have played 2 awfully close games that went down the wire too. So, yeah, that division is far from over. But yeah, the Chargers have the tiebreaker over everybody right now.
The Chargers look good.
Yeah,
the Chargers look really good.
One thing is they're going to be well coached. There's no doubt about it.
They have a great coach, and I think Justin Herbert finally looks comfortable. He's always had the arm. He's always had the ability. He hasn't always looked comfortable, and he always hasn't had the pieces around him. I think now like you said, he's extremely well coached and he looks comfortable in that offense.
Yeah.
And he's doing things that are just incredible.
Yeah, Coach Harbaugh, the thing that he's really good at is he keeps his quarterbacks calm. Harbaugh wasn't a great quarterback, but he always got out of what he could. He wasn't a great skilled quarterback, but he played smart and made good decisions. And that's what you see with Herbert now. He's going that way and is a very inefficient quarterback. So,
Sports Day today is presented by the Barton Cougar Booster Club, continuing their efforts to make the Barton Athletic Department the best in the country. Also brought to you by Equity Bank, here when you need us. Bank local, save big with in-person banking and business banking. Visit equitybank.com for more information. Equity Bank in Great Bend, Hoisington, and Larned.
Did want to mention one other thing.
Go ahead.
May have been one of the best NFL plays I ever saw when Mahomes was able to get the football away from the giant Bobby Okereke.
Okereke.
Giants would have been first and goal at the 5 in a tie ball game. It's one of the best NFL plays I've ever seen.
It was a heck of an effort play for sure.
Because it saved them. Well, it actually saved them 10 points because the Giants could have punched it in and the Chiefs got a field goal. So it's really a 10-point swing. Mm-hmm. But tremendous effort from Mahomes, just showing that quarterbacks like him are just so rare that they're going to do whatever they have to at that moment in time, risk or reward. They don't care. And Mahomes knew that, oh, man, that ball's live. I better go over and check it out.
Yeah.
I'll just steal the ball from this 6'2", 240-pound linebacker.
That was a pretty crazy play because, one, why is Isaiah Pacheco spinning backwards? He's going towards the wrong end zone. He's trying to go out for a swing pass in the flat. He's chipping on a defensive end. Okay, that's fine. But then he spins and he starts running backwards.
Yeah, it was
an insane play. And Mahomes making that tackle, making that strip and getting it back was an incredible effort play. It had nothing to do with how good he was as a quarterback in that moment. It was all about the effort and the want to.
Oh, no question. And it just shows you that don't play Mahomes in anything, table tennis, golf, anything. He is competitive, and
he's a nut job.
He'll
and all the best ones are.
Yeah, he'll do whatever he takes to at that moment in time.
All right, we got to take our first break of the show. When we come back, we'll unveil our Players of the Week. You are listening to Sports Day live from the Mayo Money Management Studio right here on 1590 KVGB and 95.5 FM.
It's all here at Great Bend Rec.
Sports, leisure, fitness, and wellness, even senior and adaptive needs. It's all here at the Great Bend Rec. Pick up a program guide or stop by the rec office at 1214 Stone in Great Bend or check out the all-new website, greatbendrec.com. Live, play, explore at the rec.
It's all here at Great Bend Rec. Live, play, explore at the rec.
Needing a healthcare plan for your business? Let the experienced team at Freedom Claims Management Incorporated customize a health insurance plan that fits your needs. Whether you're a large company or a small business on Main Street, FCMI can help you provide employees with great health coverage at an affordable cost. From setup to ongoing support, they handle it all. Schedule your free no-obligation health assessment today at freedomclaimsinc.com. That's Freedom Claims Management Incorporated, with locations in Great Bend, Russell, and Plainville.
C&E Doors, this is Eddie.
Papa, are you ready to get back to work?
Back to work? But I've been here the whole time.
But I'm back in school. You're gonna have to run the shop without me.
It will be hard without you, but people know that we provide the best service no matter the time of the year.
You could always ask me, Mom, for more help.
Who do you think is really running this place?
Garage door sales, service, and repair at C&E Doors in Great Bend and Hayes.
Get on the fast track to earn your national certification with Barton Community College's new Medical Lab Assistant program. In less than 1 year, you'll gain hands-on training to work in medical labs, clinics, and hospitals, delivering critical patient care. With flexible learning, including 100% online courses and lab hours at your local hospital, you can grow your career or start fresh. Healthcare needs skilled professionals like you. Enroll now at mla.bartonccc.edu.
Welcome back to Sports Day. Brant Daughtry, Jim Mizunas coming to you for the full 60 here from the Mayo Money Management Studio. All right, we started doing this weekly. Jim, it is time to unveil our Players of the Week. We'll start with the national one, Here's your National Player of the Week.
Play action. Daniels has time, snaps it over the middle. It is caught. Levi Wentz. Touchdown, Kansas. 41 yards from Daniels to Wentz on 4th and 1. Daniels seeing pressure, steps up, wide open space. First down, slides to the ground, and he got smoked. And there is some extracurriculars with about 6 flags down on the field. Daniels fakes the option, has a man, it's caught. LeSean Williams, touchdown Kansas. A 39-yard strike from Jalen Daniels to LeSean Williams. Daniels has an open seam, has the first down, squeezes between defenders. He's inside the 25 before he goes sliding down. Flips it out to a wide open target for a touchdown. Bowden Gruen with the touchdown catch of 7 yards, and it's all Jayhawks in the Big 12 opener.
Jalen Daniels is going to be our Player of the Week. I believe this is the second time he's won the big national award. 12 of 24 for 138 yards, but that doesn't sound too impressive. But 3 touchdowns. He also ran for 47 yards and won the game 41-10. We touched on it a little bit, Jim, at the start of the show, but I was just super impressed with the play of Jalen Daniels in this game. The stat line is 12 of 24 for 138. That doesn't blow anybody away. But the way he played and the final result was so big, and he was such a massive part of it.
Yeah, lots of times as a quarterback, you just do what is needed to do that day. When you don't have to throw for 300 yards and throw the ball 30 times, quarterbacks love that. They love to just, hey, I'm going to throw it 15, 20 times and be good and keep my uniform nice and clean.
Yeah, and he also he ran well, drew a penalty at one point. That was part of the soundbite that you heard, and I was super impressed with Jalen Daniels. I heard someone describe him once as the perfect modern triple option quarterback, in that, no, he is not the pro style, drop straight back, scan the field, find the open man on his 4th read, right? He's not going to do that for you very much. But you can scheme guys open. He will get them the ball. He's a very accurate passer. He's a heck of an athlete. His ability to escape the pocket is super impressive. I really like Jalen Daniels just as a college quarterback, and he is done, like you said, he's done what he's needed to do to start this year, and the Jayhawks are 3-1.
Yeah, they're off to a great start, and there's promise that they're going to be a force to reckon with in the Big 12 at this time.
Yep, they are 1-0 in conference play. Our local Player of the Week. Don't have a soundbite for this one. Might have to look into that. I'll ask around. But our local Player of the Week is going to be Daxton Minton, quarterback for Great Bend High School. In their game against Buhler, who is a top 5 team in 4A, he completed 21 of 28 passes for 254 yards, scored 2 touchdowns, ran for another touchdown. The Panthers took down Buhler by a score of 38-14. They moved back in front of Hayes. They are now the number 2 team in 5A, as Hayes lost to Manhattan in a defensive slugfest, by the way. That's final score is, I think, 8-6. But a really close game between those two. Hayes falls. Great Bend wins. They move back to 2 in 5A.
Yeah, it's going to be quite a titanic battle when Hayes and Great Bend meet in Week 7. Hayes has already played 2 of the top teams in the state in Derby and Manhattan, and they'll be well equipped to handle any challenge. And so far, so good for Great Bend. Their offense and defense has done exactly what they'd hoped for at this point.
Yeah, and just to highlight Daxton Minton a little bit more, I believe he passed 3,000 career passing yards either in this game or the last game. But he has done it a lot for Great Bend High School, and he's going to continue to put up yardage. I don't think Great Bend is slowing down anytime soon.
No, they're well suited, and they've done exactly what they want to do. They want to establish a running game to support that passing game, and have done a very good job so far. And it's going to be a fun season on through to Week 9.
I talked with Coach Beck earlier or last week, just talking to him, and he brought up the concept of complementary football, in that when your run game is going well, it opens up stuff in the pass game. When your pass game is going well, it opens up stuff in the run game. But more than that, what really opens stuff up is when you have guys willing to do dirty work, right? Mm-hmm. Obviously, your offensive linemen, they're offensive linemen. They're going to get it done. But what happens when you have 4-star Ian Premer out there laying blocks, and springing guys loose. What happens when you have Cooper Omont, who's not the biggest dude, but is known for his speed and his athletic ability, is out there getting in the way and setting up screens for Ian? And then you have other guys. He brought in, the running back whose name escapes me at the moment.
Connor Holiday.
Yes, yeah. Connor Holiday. He brought in Holiday the other day, and he had 150 yards last game. He had another 100-yard game this week, or something very close to it. But it's not just that they have good pieces, is that these pieces work really well together. And that kind of feels like Great Bend's strength right now.
Oh, there's no doubt. When you have those weapons, what Buehler tried to do is double cover Ian Premer most of the time. And they set Premer on the wide side and played 10 on 9. It was certainly an advantage for the Great Bend offense. And Cooper Omont had 13 receptions for 169 yards and scored about every which way. He had a receiving touchdown, had a passing touchdown, had an interception, forced a fumble. Just another Friday night for Cooper Omont.
Yeah, that kid is everywhere. He is, this is what, his junior year?
Yeah, junior year.
So he's got one more year after this one. He is a special player. He's the kind that doesn't come around very often, but we say that about half of Great Bend's roster.
Yeah, it was fascinating. Two of my best photos from Friday night kept trying to say, well, Ian's going to get the ball. So finally he got the ball. In the photo, there are 7 of 11 Buehler defenders in the picture. 7 of 11. So it gives you an idea of what their game plan defensively was, is when 14 gets the ball, everybody run that way.
Yeah, and you kind of have to. He's so big. He's so big, and he's really tough to bring down.
Okay, so here's a play for you.
Tell me about it. I didn't get a chance to watch this game.
Punt or kickoff. Who's going to play on the punt or kickoff team? Basically, your backup guys. You're trying to get as many starters out.
Your depth guys.
So Buehler punts the ball. Guess who's receiving the punt back at the 50-yard line?
It's Cooper, isn't it?
Ian Premer.
Oh, Ian. Okay.
Okay, so 6'6", 230. Here's the backup guys thinking like, oh, my goodness. I mean, Premer just rolls through those guys, gets down to the 10-yard, and returns it 30 yards like it was nothing. First play, touchdown, one play. And I hadn't seen Premer back returning a punt, but, man, it doesn't matter.
He doesn't have the standard build of a punt returner, does he?
No, but when the tackler's thinking like, oh, my goodness, I'm only one guy. How am I going to stop this guy?
Uh-huh.
And so that's sort of the way it went. 30 yards, and it took one play for the next touchdown.
You got to start biting ankles, man. And
yeah, you got to go low.
He's got some big ankles.
You cannot tackle a guy that high. You got to go low. You got to just try and go as low as you can.
All right, those are our players of the week: Jalen Daniels of the Kansas Jayhawks and Daxton Minton of the Great Bend Panthers. 2 quarterbacks being named players of the week. All right, we got to get to our next break. When we come back, we'll dive a little bit deeper into the individual games that happened around the state of Kansas, but especially here locally. Brant Daughtry, Jim Mizunas joining you here on this Monday episode of Sports Day, live from the Mayo Money Management Studio here on 1590 KVGB and 95.5 FM.
Community bankers should actually know your community. Hi, I'm Sean Powelson, president of your local Equity Bank. As someone who lives here, I know many of you, and I know what's important to you. I've been in the industry a long time, and I've helped many navigate through financial challenges and lead them to financial opportunities. I believe that people bank with people. So I'd like to invite you to stop by one of our region's 5 locations and meet our friendly, helpful staff. Let us show you our commitment to serving you and our communities. Because at Equity Bank, we're right here beside you. Member FDIC.
Selling your farm or ranch acres can be stressful. At Red Cedar Land Company, they are extremely diverse in the number of ways they can represent you, and they tailor each project to meet their seller's needs. One of the biggest questions for a seller is, what is my land worth? At Red Cedar Land Company, they offer a free market analysis to help you better understand the value of your land. You deserve a better selling experience. Put your trust in Red Cedar Land Company. Call Cody Crook with Red Cedar Land Company at 620-617-7320.
Sutherland's is your complete home improvement and hardware store. Tens of thousands of products are in stock at everyday low prices. Sutherland's also offers custom buildings, including post-frame barns, garages, and deck packages too. The friendly and knowledgeable staff at Sutherland's, always ready to help you with any project. From hardware, lumber, cabinets, plywood, and OSB, fencing, power tools, furniture, and more. They simply sell for less. Sutherland's, West 10th, Great Bend, helping America build it better since 1917.
Marmy Auto Group makes it happen. Central and Western Kansas. Check out our selection of new and pre-owned inventory. Marmy's friendly staff offers top quality service that you've gotten to know over the years. When your existing vehicle needs parts or service, our experienced team will get you back in the game this season. Marmy Chevrolet, GMC, Ford and Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep Ram, parts, service, and body shop. Visit Marmy Auto Group on 10th Street or marmys.net. Marmy's, make it happen.
Welcome back. Sports Day here on a Monday. Brant Daughtry, Jim Mizunas coming to you live from the Mayo Money Management Studio. Sports Day today is brought to you by C&A Doors, your full-service garage door company. Follow the orange sign south of 10th and Harrison. Also brought to you in part by the Marmy Auto Group on 10th Street in Great Bend. All right, let's take a look at some of our local stuff. We've already recapped Great Bend a little bit. Let's hear it straight from the horse's mouth. Mike Hesher was on the call. Here's his recap of the game.
The Great Bend Panthers raised their record to 3-0 on Friday night as they defeated the Buhler Crusaders by a score of 38-14. Great Bend jumped out to a 32-0 lead midway through the third quarter. First quarter, they got a touchdown run of 4 yards by Connor Holiday of 4 yards that made it 7-0. Then they would have a Cooper Omont to Daxton Minton pass of 10 yards to make it 14-0. And then right before intermission, they would have a Daxton Minton to Cooper Omont pass of 5 yards to go up 20-0. Great Bend then would go up 32-0 before Buhler would get on the board 32-7, and then Great Bend would do a long drive, 78 yards, 5 plays, 3 minutes and 10 seconds off the clock. It was a 45-yard touchdown pass from Daxton Minton to Ian Premer. That made it 38-7. And then the Buhler Crusaders would score on the ensuing kickoff as there was about an 89-yard kickoff return by Landon Martinez, and that rounded after scoring 38-14. Great Bend wins it. Unofficially, individual numbers, Connor Holiday, 14 carries for 69 yards and a couple of touchdowns. Big night for Cooper Omont receiving the football. I have him 9 catches for 124 yards, and Daxton Minton had some good numbers as well. But the final score, Great Bend wins it by a score of 38-14, and they're 3-0 on the season. Buhler falls to 2-1. Great Bend in action next Friday night when they travel to Wichita to take on Wichita North. For Eagle Radio, Whole Broadcasting, I'm Mike Hesher.
Big thanks to Mike Hesher for calling those games. He's getting to follow a really good Great Bend high school football team. And to go down to Buhler and, like you said, get out 32-0 before you even let the other team breathe a little bit, this was a special night. And they continue to pile up the special nights, and this is just a really fun game.
Yeah, no doubt. They put so much pressure on the other team's defense because they have so many offensive weapons. And really the key to that, if Dax Minton gets the kind of protection he has so far, that offense will not get stopped. And we'll give a little love to the offensive line. Trenton Kern, Jace Dinas, Carter Brown, Brady Mendez, and Keaton Bray are the front 5 up front, and they've done a tremendous job keeping Dax's uniform nice and clean.
Yeah, we had Carter Brown here in the studio last week. That was one of the players that Coach Beck brought in, and really fun to talk to and to hear him talk about how, again, this was coming off of the big game from Connor Holiday, who was the other player that Coach Beck brought in. You can go and look at that from last week. I believe we aired that interview on Friday. So
it was really nice. It's nice to hear from the players and hear their personalities and see how excited they are about the game of football.
Yeah. But anyway, to run the ball like that, it matters to them.
Oh, yeah, no doubt. And really, the other key besides their offensive weapons is they just need to establish that running game. 150 yards a game is what I'm sure their goal is because, they've been right at it. And you need to balance that passing game, in certain circumstances to run the clock out, to keep the ball away from the other team. So far, so good.
Yeah, I honestly don't know how you scheme to stop this Great Bend team because, okay, like you said, they've got a good offensive line. They've got good receivers. Okay, in my head, I'm going, okay, what I would like to do is get the ball out of the quarterback's hand quickly or maybe go after a couple of sacks. So I would try and bring pressure because I believe pressure is the thing that disrupts a good quarterback. Well, Daxton Minton is probably a better athlete than the extra rusher you have coming at him. And if you do bring somebody from the second level, that's going to leave somebody in a one-on-one matchup with either Ian Premer or Cooper Omont or Connor Holiday out in the flat. You've got so many weapons. And then if you go, okay, well, I'm just going to drop everybody back and I'm going to cover as much grass as possible. I'm going to make the windows tighter. Well, guess what? You've got a running back that's capable of carrying it for 150 yards in a game.
It just shows you how astute Brandt is. So here's what Buehler did last year. They went single coverage on Priemer. They blitzed everybody. Ian Priemer has 5 touchdowns. So this year, they go to double coverage the whole game, and basically the same result. So, and that's what good coaches like Aaron Beck do, is say, okay, what are you doing? What can we do? And that's what great coaches do, is they adjust their game plan. So Ian Priemer, he still was a factor in the game, but he was like plan B, and they went to a different strategy, and it worked really perfectly.
It's really a pick your poison offense.
It really is.
Whoever you scheme to take away, it's going to leave somebody else in a matchup that you're not going to win. You're just not. You don't have a shot against it. You have to. If I was trying to scheme up a way to stop Great Bend's offense, I would bring as much pressure as possible and hope against hope that my guy could get to Daxton Minton fast enough. That's the only chance that you really have, unless you've got an athlete that is equal to either Ian Priemer or Cooper Omon, which you don't.
That's a tough
99 times out of 100, you just don't. It is such a tough matchup, and it's led to some big wins for Great Bend this year.
Yeah, it has. Anyway, interesting game. Well, really not an interesting game, but I'll give you. I'll pose a question. Maybe you can just take a guess. Anyway, guess low. Wichita North. How many wins does Wichita North have over the last 15 years? Now we're talking 15 years. You play 9 games.
15 years. Yeah. Okay, 9 games. So that's shy of 150. So in conservatively, we'll say 140 games. You're telling me to guess low?
Yeah, guess low.
I would say if they're a bad team, I'd say hopefully around 20.
6.
So
they've lost.
That's a low number.
It's a low. They've lost 62 consecutive games. Okay, here's another guess.
So home by 9 is what you're saying.
Well, yeah. Okay, so here's another guess. How many touchdowns did Wichita North score last year? 9 games.
Last year in 9 games?
Yeah, and again, guess low.
I had 4.
Yeah, 3. So you were right on it.
Gosh.
And what's crazy is, 6 wins in 15 years. So, I mean, that's 4 years of football where you're lucky to win 1 game. But, again, and it's sort of nice because Great Bend will have an opportunity to just focus on themselves and just focus on executing and getting everybody in the game because, after a certain point in time, there'll be a running clock and it'll go from there. But you don't want to get – the last thing you want to do is get sloppy in a game like that. Yeah. And last year was 61-7, so they took care of business, and they'll do the same this year. But, again, you want to keep everybody healthy, keep everybody sharp, no pre-snap penalties, and just execute your game plan. And they'll run the ball a lot more than they normally would just because it just makes sense to do that. Because you want to see what your offensive line can do as far as carrying out the run game and being more of an attacking line. Most offensive linemen, they want to run the ball, and they want to go after the defense.
Yeah.
They would prefer much better run blocking than pass blocking because pass blocking, you're protecting space. Run blocking, you're going after people, and you're getting pulls and getting a chance to knock out the defensive end.
You're getting to move a little bit.
Oh, yeah.
You're getting to move a little bit more. And I will say, I played offensive line. I was undersized. Trying to move back and catch a guy who was much bigger than me was not nearly as much fun as pulling on trap, right?
You had a shot. You had a blind shot. A trap, hey, you've got a shot. You got a shot against that because the guy doesn't know you're coming or what direction you're coming. So anyway, Great Bend.
A lot of defensive linemen just aren't very smart.
Well, there's a reason why they play the defensive line sometimes. Okay, Igor, go get him.
Igor.
Yeah, you got to have a good name like that. Anyway, so it'll be again, I'm not saying it'll be interesting, but it'll be, keep everybody clean and keep everybody healthy and get everybody in the ball game. It'll be
That's the thing that I think will keep Coach Beck up this week is, all right, we can go in, we can get this win. Let's just get everybody healthy. Let's get a big lead and pull the starters as quickly as possible so that everybody just gets out of there in one piece.
And it's really, to be honest, it's a lot harder game to prepare for a game like this than maybe any game on their schedule. Because Buehler going on the road, you're facing road games, and, it prepares you mentally. But this is almost, I think it's the hardest game they play all year, just simply because it's all mental.
Yeah.
It's not physical. Physically, you're way better than them, and you want to be sharp. You don't want to have penalties, and, play sharp.
Play sharp, get out of there in one piece, and, be home to enjoy Friday night.
Yeah, and get ready for WAC conference play, ongoing. So.
Yeah. All right, we're going to take our next break. When we come back, we'll highlight some of the other area schools You are listening to Sports Day live from the Mayo Money Management Studio right here on 1590 KVGB and 95.5 FM.
This October, the Barton Theater presents Time Stands Still, a powerful drama by Pulitzer Prize winner Donald Margulies. Follow Sarah, a photojournalist recovering from the war in Iraq, and her correspondent boyfriend, James, as they confront love, career, and the search for meaning when the cameras are turned off. Performances run October 16th through 19th. Tickets are $10. This production is recommended for audiences ages 13 and up due to adult language and situations. Visit shows.bartonccc.edu for showtimes and tickets.
C&E Doors, this is Eddie.
Papa, are you ready to get back to work?
Back to work? But I've been here the whole time.
But I'm back in school. You're gonna have to run the shop without me.
It will be hard without you, but people know that we provide the best service no matter the time of the year.
You could always ask me, Mom, for more help.
Who do you think is really running this place?
Garage door sales, service, and repair at C&E Doors in Great Bend and Hayes.
Needing a healthcare plan for your business? Let the experienced team at Freedom Claims Management Incorporated customize a health insurance plan that fits your needs. Whether you're a large company or a small business on Main Street, FCMI can help you provide employees with great health coverage at an affordable cost. From setup to ongoing support, they handle it all. Schedule your free no-obligation health assessment today at freedomclaimsinc.com. That's Freedom Claims Management Incorporated, with locations in Great Bend, Russell, and Plainville.
It's all here at Great Bend Rec.
Sports, leisure, fitness, and wellness, even senior and adaptive needs. It's all here at the Great Bend Rec. Pick up a program guide or stop by the rec office at 1214 Stone in Great Bend, or check out the all-new website, greatbendrec.com. Live, play, explore at the rec.
It's all here at Great Bend Rec. Live, play, explore at the rec.
Welcome back to Sports Day. Brant Daughtry, Jim Mizunas here with you live. It's in the Mayo Money Management Studio. Sports Day today is brought to you by Equity Bank, adding value for customers and communities. Equity Bank in Great Bend, Hoisington, and Larned. See the locations tab at equitybank.com for more locations. Also brought to you by Sutherland's, helping you build it better since 1917. From quality lumber, plywood, and OSB to cabinets, plumbing, hardware, and power tools, we have everything you need to get the job done. Visit Sutherland's on 10th Street. Some other area schools that we want to highlight. This is another school that we carry. It was a weird night for the Hoisington Cardinals. I was on the call of this one. Normally, this is where I would play a soundbite and I would let myself from Friday recap the entire game. We didn't do that, though, Jim, because Friday, I'll break down what happened for people. You get the game going. About 5 minutes into the first quarter, I look over to the east, and I see a big dark cloud kind of coming our way. And I say into a headset, boy, there's kind of a dark cloud coming off to the east. I hope that thing holds off. Well, middle of the second quarter, I think about 9 minutes left to play in the second quarter, there's a timeout taken by the officials. I think it's a water time. I think it's like a heat timeout, something. So I take the break with it. While we're in the middle of a commercial break, there's both teams run off the field and into their respective locker rooms. And I go, oh no, they just had lightning. So I come back and I tell people we're in a lightning delay, yada yada, for a couple of minutes, and send it back to break for an extended break. And I go and I talk to people who are in charge. I go up on top of the press box, the Dr. Blake Harris press box there in Hoisington, and I see the cloud. I have a little bit clearer view of the cloud. It's way bigger than I thought. And so I'm going, okay, we need to get all of our camera equipment, which is very sensitive to water, need to get it down. And so I turn, and now I'm looking off to the west. And what do I see, Jim, but another massive cloud with lightning popping every 10 to 15 seconds. And I go, we need to get out of here now.
Wasn't it nice that the lightning gave you a view of all those clouds? That was nice.
Yeah, so we've got lightning coming from the east. We've got lightning coming from the west, and they're about to converge right over the top of Hoisington High School. And so we get all of our camera equipment down, and I'm looking at the radar, and I'm going, okay, it's going to be maybe 11, maybe even midnight before you restart this thing, before all these clouds clear out of here. And so we get the message from Craig Fletchell, who's the AD over at Hoisington, and he goes, hey, look, game is off for tonight. We're going to come back tomorrow. We're going to restart this thing at 1 p.m. Saturday. Okay, fine. So we all clear out of there.
Did you get out without rain?
Got out without rain.
Wow, you were lucky.
It started to rain while I was still in Hoisington, but I was in the truck and we were headed back to Great Bend. Well, I go out to a restaurant that night and I'm having dinner, and I get a call from Craig, and he tells me, "Hey, Scott City has said, hey, we don't really want to drive back 2.5 hours with district starting next week." And Coach Baird just kind of said, okay, well, it's 14-7. You guys are ahead, but if you don't want to continue this thing, we don't really have to continue it because we also have district starting next week. So what looked like it was going to be a really great game ends with 9 minutes left in the second quarter with Scott City leading Hoisington 14-7. That game has been declared a no contest. It will be as though that 15 minutes was never played, and both teams will go into week 4 at 2-0.
Yeah, I think it was a good choice. I mean, again, you can never predict the weather, but you can sort of look at the radar and say, this isn't going to clear up for a while. No. So I don't suppose that everybody just stopped their games that was in that particular area of the state. Yeah, Great Bend was lucky. They were on the eastern side of things and never got any weather at all. So it just depends upon where you are, really.
Yeah, it was kind of strange because, again, it was very quickly, okay, we'll restart it at 1, and then maybe 2 hours later, I got the call saying, hey, it's off. And that was interesting. And the other thing is what was tragic about it is that weather wasn't supposed to hit until after the game was over, or like maybe about the time the game was ending, but they were supposed to be able to get the full game in. But again, you played the first 12 minutes and about 15 minutes. You played about 15 minutes of football here, and that rain just wasn't supposed to show up for another 2 or 3 hours, and yet it did.
And what a high-level game of 15 minutes that was. I mean, you had to appreciate how good a football team Scott City has.
Yeah, they're really good. They have a kid, last name Chapman, I think, wears number 7 for them. Couchman is his last name. But wears number 7 and is a really talented player. They've got another running back. He wears number 5. I can't remember what his name is, but he's fast as all get out. You've got Couchman, who's kind of big, and you got 5, who's really fast. And together, those two are just a 1-2 punch for Scott City. They're a very similar team, I think, to Hoisington. They're going to win a lot of games this year.
Oh, no doubt. And their programs are very similar. They have great weight programs, really tough, smart kids who know how to play football. They grow up with it. And it's a traditional team that Hoisington really enjoys playing because they know they're going to get a good football game that prepares them for on down the road.
Yeah, I will say, and, again, we are 15 minutes into this game. I couldn't get a read on who was going to win. I think heavy emphasis on I think Scott City was probably the better of the two teams, but how that would have played out over the 4 quarters, I have no idea.
Oh, yeah.
It will forever be a football game that I regret not being able to watch.
Yeah, you hate to lose those opportunities, particularly as a high school football player, but again, they'll just get ready for this week.
Yeah. Got a good one coming up, too, or against is it Southwestern Heights that they're playing?
Yeah, Southwestern Heights.
Yeah.
Yeah, they lost 68-0 to Goodland.
Yeah, I've heard a little bit about Southwestern Heights, and I've said it on the show a couple of times. The thing that people keep telling me about Hoisington is, man, they got a really tough schedule. Pratt is good. Heston is always good. Scott City's really good. They've got to go to Cheney, or I think they host Cheney this year, but they've got to play Cheney, who's always good. Hoisington is a really good team. They should win a bunch of games, but they've got some really tough teams, and also they're going to play Southwestern Heights. That's Southwestern Heights is always the yes, but.
The district is really down from what it has been in recent years, so that's why that scheduling Pratt, Cheney, Scott City is very important because they're not going to get a whole lot of competition in the district. All the other teams are 1-3 or 1-2 or 0-3, so. And have all lost, by decided margins. So, Hoisington, that's why scheduling those tougher teams will definitely help them when they get to postseason because the district should be pretty reasonable. Lakin is down from what they've had. Cimarron's had really good quarterbacks, and he's gone. And Larned's still struggling to find its identity, and so it should be. Pretty routine for Hoisington in district play. But again, that's why that Cheney game will be fun to play because they'll get a serious test when they play Cheney, which throws the ball effectively. And that's one thing that has given Hoisington trouble from time to time, is a team that relies on the passing game.
Yeah, and I can only say this because they're the team I call for, so they're the team I know the most details about. If there is a weakness that has shown up for Hoisington this year, it hasn't really been in the pass game. They've given up one or two big pass plays, but that hasn't been where they've consistently gotten hurt. It's been on outside runs. It's teams that are good at running outside zone or toss sweeps. Those teams have found some success against Hoisington, and it's all three teams that they've played so far.
Yeah, in the past, Hoisington would get beat 5 or 6 times in the pass game, and if it's only 1 or 2, you can live with that. You just don't like to consistently get beat downfield by 20-plus yard passing. And Hoisington's really worked hard. Their coaches have done a tremendous job trying to shore that phase of their game up that's traditionally been an issue from time to time. So they've done an excellent job. But again, like you say, then you focus on the pass defense. Now you're susceptible to something else. So that's why you constantly have to adjust.
It is all the chess match of football at all levels. All right, we got to take our final break of the show. When we come back, we'll talk a little bit about the Larned Indians, and we'll also look around at what's coming up next week. You were listening to Sports Day, live from the Mayo Money Management Studio right here on 1590 KVGB and 95.5 FM.
Service from people you know, quality products and professional installation. That's Kern Floor Service. Stop by Kern Floor Service and browse through the different selections of flooring from laminate to vinyl, carpet, wood, and ceramic tile. See their selection of area rugs or special order the one that fits your decor, and don't forget, they can spice up those countertops too. So stop by Kern Floor Service today. Kern Floor Service, 908 Coolidge in Great Bend.
Central and Western Kansas residents, are you looking for a new vehicle? Marmy Auto Group can make it happen. Marmy Auto Group includes Ford, Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep and Ram, Chevrolet, and GMC. Marmy Auto Group, your Central and Western Kansas dealer, has new and pre-owned vehicles, or we can special order your vehicle today. If your existing vehicle needs serviced, Marmy's award-winning service department can help. Come to Marmy Auto Group on 10th or marmys.net. Marmys, make it happen.
Sutherland's is your complete home improvement and hardware store. Tens of thousands of products are in stock at everyday low prices. Sutherland's also offers custom buildings, including post-frame barns, garages, and deck packages too. The friendly and knowledgeable staff at Sutherland's, always ready to help you with any project. From hardware, lumber, cabinets, plywood, and OSB, fencing, power tools, furniture, and more. They simply sell for less. Sutherland's, West 10th, Great Bend, helping America build it better since 1917.
Selling your farm or ranch acres can be stressful. At Red Cedar Land Company, they are extremely diverse in the number of ways they can represent you, and they tailor each project to meet their seller's needs. One of the biggest questions for a seller is, what is my land worth? At Red Cedar Land Company, they offer a free market analysis to help you better understand the value of your land. You deserve a better selling experience. Put your trust in Red Cedar Land Company. Call Cody Crook with Red Cedar Land Company at 620-617-7320.
Community bankers should actually know your community. Hi, I'm Sean Powelson, president of your local Equity Bank. As someone who lives here, I know many of you, and I know what's important to you. I've been in the industry a long time, and I've helped many navigate through financial challenges and lead them to financial opportunities. I believe that people bank with people, so I'd like to invite you to stop by one of our region's 5 locations and meet our friendly, helpful staff. Let us show you our commitment to serving you and our communities. Because at Equity Bank, we're right here beside you. Member FDIC.
Welcome back. It's Sports Day here on 1590 KVGB and 95.5 FM. Brant Daughtry here with you alongside Jim Mizunas. We've got one more school that we carry. We're going to hear from her right now. Here is the voice of the Larned Indians, Gary Wagner.
The Larned Indians hosted Pratt tonight in high school football, but it was Pratt coming away with a Larned homecoming game win, 41-6 the final, as Pratt wins it in 3 quarters, as the game was called due to weather coming in at the start of the 4th quarter. Indians started their first drive in a deep hole as they fumbled the kickoff out of bounds. They start off at their own 1-yard line. Interception was committed on the first drive for the Indians, and Pratt has it at the Indian 38-yard line. A 25-yard touchdown from Porter Liggett made it 7-0. with the PAT good. That came at 8:13 to play in the first quarter. Indians had to punt on their next possession. That was blocked and returned for a score by Morrell. PAT was good. At 5:46, it was 14-0. The Indians again turn it over on an interception. Pratt has it at their own 45-yard line. 55-yard drive capped off by a 3-yard touchdown run by Barker. That came with 9:48 to play in the second. 20-0. PAT failed. Pratt's next touchdown came after they return a Larned punt to the 10-yard line, and Liggett goes 10 yards for the score with 2:14 to play until halftime, and that made it 26-0. Larned then got the ball at midfield just before halftime, and they get a 14-yard touchdown pass from Miller to Regan. That made it 26-6. That came with 1:09 to play in the half, and that was our halftime score. Pratt had the football to start the second half. They had it at their 34-yard line, and it was a one-play, 66-yard drive. Caleb Strong with the catch, and that made it 34-6, and that was with 11:49 to play in the third quarter, so that coming with 11 seconds gone in the third. Larned's then next possession resulted in an 11-yard punt. Pratt had it at the Indian 26. A 3-yard touchdown run on the direct snap to 6'6" Arlie Morrell made it 41-6. That was an 8:37 to play. Went to the third quarter, between the third and fourth quarter break, and they decide to call it as weather's coming in on this Friday night, and that's the final. 41-6 is your final scores. Pratt defeats Larned here on Larned's homecoming night. Larned will be in Russell next week. We'll have that one for you here on Hits 106.9. Reporting for Eagle Radio Sports. From Larned, I'm Gary Wagner.
Big thanks to Gary for letting us use that, and also just for calling those games. I've been on the receiving end of a couple of those myself. It is never a fun time to call that, but Gary's a professional and does a really good job with Larned. And I think that you and I were talking about it earlier. Larned is a team where a lot of their players are very young. A lot of their best players are very young. So while they've got some older guys that are kind of coaching up these younger guys, they're still young. They're still very young, and they're making mistakes right now.
Yeah, and they're physically just overmatched. Larned's got an excellent freshman class, and they got a nice 8th grade class coming up. So in the years to come, they're going to be way more competitive. It's just sometimes there's some growing pains in a program, and that's sort of what we're seeing right now with Larned. But they're keeping their heads up and trying to keep improving week by week.
The other thing is that Pratt is a darn good football team. I know that Hoisington handled them pretty good in week 1, but they're a super talented team. They're big. They're physical. You heard him talking about Arlie Morrell, the 6'6" tight end committed to Colorado State. He's every bit as advertised. He was a lot of fun to watch playing for Pratt. So they're a team that I think is going to make a pretty good run this year. I don't think they're one of the better teams in the state, but they are certainly good enough. And Larned just kind of ran into a team that was bigger, faster, and stronger right now. Yeah, and sometimes it gets to be that the matchup just physically, you're just not equipped because you're playing younger guys who aren't nearly senior-oriented, and you're just going to hopefully learn from that and try and compensate and get better. Like I said, they still got a bunch of games left this year. Sports Day today is brought to you by Kern Floor Service. Whether you need a new ceramic, porcelain, or natural stone floors, our knowledgeable and friendly flooring experts are here to help you find the perfect floor for your lifestyle, home decor, and budget. Visit the Great Bend Showroom at 908 Coolidge to see, touch, and feel the latest styles. Also brought to you by Cody Crook of Red Cedar Land Company. Whether you're looking to sell your land or find the right property to buy, Cody takes pride in understanding your goals and making the process as smooth as possible. Call Cody at 620-617-7320, or you can visit redcedarland.com. Brant Daughtry, Jim Mizunas coming to you live. About 4 minutes left in the show, Jim. Let's take a look at what's coming up next week. Great Bend will play Wichita North. We've already gone over that one. It's not going to be pretty.
Not for Wichita North.
No.
But they did switch their nickname. They used to be it was an Indian name. They're Indians, and now they're Red Hawks.
Okay. To Red Hawks. Okay. Hayes will host Garden City. I don't know anything about Garden City, but I feel like Hayes should probably win that one just because Hayes is a really good team.
Yeah,
Hayes, I don't know anything about Garden City.
Yeah,
so Hayes is not as Hayes.
Yeah, Hayes has proven they're one of the top teams in the state.
Southwestern Heights will travel to play Hoisington. Hoisington 2-0 going into week 4. A little interesting, but it is what it is. Southwestern Heights, a team that they do have a win. They are 1-2. But this is probably not going. This is probably going to be another game where Hoisington can probably name their score.
Right, and then Hoisington again just needs to take care of business and play their game and operate as efficiently as they can.
Larned, things don't get any easier. They're on the road at Russell. Russell is 3-0. I feel like Russell is another team that I've heard a lot about being a really good team this year.
Yeah, Russell's a surprise. Hoisington played them in the playoffs here a year, maybe it was last year, but Russell's turned their program around and it's been very competitive. And they're obviously off to a great start, 3-0. So, yeah, it's going to be a good test for Larned.
You were talking earlier about Central Plains, weren't you? Didn't they have a crazy?
Yeah, they ended up starting Friday, finished on Saturday, came back Saturday afternoon and played. And of course, Friday, Saturday, that's sort of what happens. It's 24-20. They beat La Crosse, but it was a struggle. You know, you're coming back. You're not used to prepping for a Saturday afternoon game, and again, you're going to be flat. You're not going to be sharp. You just don't even know what your routine is because you're just not used to doing that.
You're so out of routine at that point.
Yeah, they found a way. You know, Richard Stroud had 3 touchdowns, and Brody Kreitzer, quarterback, threw for 2 touchdowns. So they survived 24-20. They get up 3 scores and then gave up a couple late, but held off La Crosse 24-20. And then Ellenwood got a good, they played a quarter and got up 21-0 against Osawatomie, and Austin Brock scored 3 touchdowns. Their interesting game this week is Sterling. Sterling beat Inman 60-47 Friday. Now, Ellenwood has played Sterling tough the last 2 years. They haven't found a way to win because it's gone down to the wire right to the end of the game. So it'll be fun to see how Brett Stint and his Ellenwood Eagles compete. So far, their offensive line's done a good job, and they can run and pass. So far, so good. So we'll see how they do against Sterling Friday night.
Yeah, that was the other thing I wanted to talk to you about. Is this one kind of feels like it'll be circled as the big one in the area? Sterling and Ellenwood, 2 teams coming in at 3-0.
Yeah, and again, Ellenwood has had a hard time in that district because it's just been filled with awfully tough teams, competitive teams. But again, they're 3-0 and have won all their non-district games for the 3rd consecutive year. So they're where they want to be.
Other games in the WAC, Liberal is going to Dodge City.
Yeah, Liberal's off to a great start. Are they 3-0?
They're 3-0.
Yeah. See, so Great Bend has Hayes and Liberal, which will be very good tests in the WAC. And so they've got at least 2 more highly competitive games.
Then the CKL, Pratt will travel to Chaparral?
Yeah, Chaparral.
Chaparral? Is that how it's pronounced?
Yep.
Okay, I wasn't sure. Douglas will travel to face Haven. Hillsboro travels to Halstead. Nickerson travels to Heston. And Smoky Valley at 2-1 will go to Wichita Trinity. That's going to do it for today's episode of Sports Day. Jim, thanks for coming in, man.
Well, you're welcome.
I always love the Monday shows where we can just kind of kick back and go, oh, hey, did you see this? That makes for a good show, I think.
Yeah, and it's nice to touch on the NFL, a little bit of college, and, of course, the high school scene. It's always fun. His favorite time of the year, really, is fall because football is certainly a favorite of many, many people, including myself.
Yep. All right, that's going to do it for today's episode. Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. Big thanks to Landon Winkler for running as our executive producer, as he does every single day. I'm Brant Daughtry. Thank you for having me. Stick around. We've got Agriculture Today next.